Welcome. Over the Top Podcast. It's your boy HD and the Over the Top Podcast crew in the building. Again, guys, thank you for following us on WDJY 99.1 FM. Also on our YouTube channel, and also pretty soon where you get your podcast, you should be able to find us. But we definitely keep you on notice with that. Hey guys, let's go introduce who we got going on today. What's up, Q?
Let it be known. First off, happy Super Bowl Sunday. We're not gonna talk sports because we don't talk sports anymore for some reason. But when we do talk about sports, I know what I'm talking about. I just wanted to be clear.
Congratulations on your pick. Congratulations.
Oh,
I was told by people on the sports side that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to football.
Does that mean you know what you're talking about, or that you're just good at picking shit?
You gotta know football to pick. You gotta know football. You gotta know ball.
Okay.
Hey man, you know that what's happening back in the day, Dwayne was winning money on bets, right? And Roger asked him, "Hey, man, how you winning money in those bets, man?" And he said, "Man, I just I picked the team with the best helmet."
Wait. This is why everybody here is underneath me. I pick it based off statistics. They pick it based off. We had someone who picked the Giants like 10 times this year. What were you doing?
I did not. Oh no, I didn't.
Hey, my 5-game lead died with Washington when they went in the toilet. I kept picking my team. I was too emotional. That was my problem.
Speaking of orange, what's going on with you, Ron?
You muted.
Chilling. I had to unmute, man. The cat is around here moaning and stuff too. So yeah, we got a lot going on.
Good stuff.
We're gonna make it work.
Playmaker getting situated. Toya, what's going on with you?
What up? No, I'm good.
What's going on, young lady?
I'm
good. Playmaker, you coming back? Well, he coming back, man. He the guy. I don't know. There you go. Playmaker, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. How you doing? Sorry, late.
No problem. Thanks for joining the show. Better late than never, as they say. Well, guys, hey, Black History Month, continue to celebrate our Black history and by loving on each other. So they continue to do that. Toya, what we got on deck?
They actually have a Black History question.
Okay.
It's not another. So there, Toya, as we go into Black History Month, what are some of the things you do with your family or teach your kids about Black history? How does the Over the Top crew celebrate Black History Month? Your fans appreciate you. You use your platform for good and not evil. Signed, Black History 365.
Good stuff. All right, Ron, what do your family do to celebrate Black History Month?
We hadn't really facilitated or done anything big. Last year, I really went through Black history facts with them, shared some information with them on a certain people that I thought really highly of. Bakari Hapsat Shut, introduced them to Garrett Morgan, a number of different inventors. This year, I haven't done much of anything because we're displaced. But right now, it's a little different for us this year. We're just trying to get our footing around here. We're going to celebrate. There's some things that I've been talking to them about otherwise.
There you go. Playmaker.
You say, no.
Go ahead, Q.
I got it. Okay. So for me, I try to do Black History Month every month. So my thing is I try to, I just don't wait until February to try to do something. I try to support Black businesses all throughout the year. I try to educate myself on different things about Black history throughout the year. So my routine is not that much different than what I try to make a habit throughout the year. So my thing is just continue on with that habit of learning more every chance I get, as well as supporting Black businesses, because I think that's one of the best ways we can recognize and support Black history.
Good stuff. Q, you had something to say?
I do now. I celebrate Black History Month by reciting these lyrics. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm bleedy black, and I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm blackity black, and I'm black, y'all.
Oh boy.
Be black, y'all.
Black, and blackity black, yo. Because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm back. And then black. And y'all, I'm bliggity black. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black.
Okay. Thank you for that rendition, sir. Thank you for that rendition. Well, just like all of us say, guys, we try to. My goal is try to attack Black history every day, man. To try, anything new, anything new that come up that I didn't know. I'm quick to share. I'm quick to share it with my family and my kids. And if I don't know about Black history, I'm quick to show. I'm quick to share. I'm quick to look for knowledge, gain knowledge. I think that's one of the powerful things is continue to gain knowledge on the stuff that we didn't know and stuff that we missed. So that's one thing that I like to do through social media, through books, through different things that I come across. I like to highlight different achievements that we have come as a people. That's how I celebrate Black history, and I try to do it on a regular basis that way. So, what about you, Toya?
So this year's theme is African Americans in the arts, the diaspora. So we every year we do a project. The girls do a project. Last year they did before slavery. So kings and queens before slavery, and people of African descent. This year, we are learning about the diaspora into other countries. So this morning, we learned about Haiti and Haiti's influence on America. We are learning about Afro-Latinos in Brazil and places like that, Puerto Rico. We also have every year our church does a African Heritage Festival and the last weekend of the month. So you get to support Black businesses. It's a whole bunch of vendors. You wear your African attire. It's really, really fun. We have a good time and we eat good food. So I think this year's project, because it's arts, is really special for Zoe. She's learning about a lot of different artists from the Harlem Renaissance and looking at different works. She's starting to like Archibald, which I love because he's one of my favorites. It's for us, Black history is 365. I support Black businesses. Once we get to end the show, we have a new Black business tonight that we are supporting. And we just try to do all types of things like Quentin. We Black, legally Black, all the time, 365 days a year. So, but during this time, we do focus on just the theme of the year, which is great theme, African American and the arts. And so, we're looking at not only art as an art, but we're also looking at in food in the diaspora too. So we're learning about different foods that came over on the ship with us and trying out new things. And I love it. I love this time. So
go ahead.
Appreciate the questions. Soon we will have another Ask Toya show. Keep them coming. We got a lot of great topics coming up too. So I'm gonna start doing little mini videos to tell y'all what topics we have. So if you have questions about the actual topics that we're doing, that would be great. We are in a political time right now. It is a special time. So keep your questions coming. Ask Toya, TOIA74@gmail.com. Ask Toya on Facebook or Toya L on TikTok.
Good stuff, Toya. Hey, guys, again, pick up everything Toya said. Just keep sending them in, guys. We definitely Look forward to listening to them and expounding on them and giving our input. Hey guys, tonight we're gonna jump right into critical race theory. So critical race theory is the academic concept that emerged out of the framework for legal analysis in the late 1970s, early 1980s. It's created by legal scholars Derek Bell Kimball, Crenshaw, and Richard D'Angelo. D'Andilo, I can't pronounce it last name, I do apologize, among others. The basic tenets of the critical race theory is that white people are inherently racist and should feel guilty about racism and historical advantages that there was given. So the Republican-controlled state has invoked in legislation restricting how race can be taught in schools because of this critical race theory. Teachers unions, the educators, and social studies organizations are worried about the limits of whitewashing American history by downplaying the roles and past injustices as still played today. So let's jump in this right quick, a little bit without questions. Q, I'm coming with you with this one first, sir. As a future educator, how do you think some education may feel about being forced to teach things or not teach things to their students that they know that's not correct or don't agree with? What's your thoughts on that?
That is one of the many reasons there's a teacher shortage. Over policing of teachers and, surprising enough, under policing of the students. Coddle everything to the students, made the teachers like, hey, do this. I don't believe in that. Too bad. Do it for the kids. Then when the kids do something, so he's a kid, he doesn't know any better. Well, apparently some higher ups in education systems don't know any better either. I'm not gonna say too much because I haven't got a job yet, and I'm not gonna let this radio show cause me from getting any sort of job. With that being said,
sir.
That being said,
good stuff. We're not gonna stop you from getting a job, brother Q. But thank you for your input, sir. Toy, I'm gonna come with you with this one, my man. How can parents deal with sharing historical facts with their kids that may differ from what they have been taught in schools, or should parents just follow the school curriculum?
So we come from a time where, for some of us, well, for me and the system that I grew up in, we didn't have certain history taught to us. We didn't have certain things taught to us. So our parents took it upon themselves to make sure that we knew certain things. So it's the same way now. Like I just said, we do a project every year because even though times are different here, they're somewhat the same now because of critical race theory. So I think, no, we shouldn't follow the curriculum. Make your own curriculum. You need to teach your kids their history, about their ancestors, about where they come from. That's why knowing yourself and knowing the history is important because it affects us to this day now.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So I ran across this curriculum. It's called PragerU. Very, very interesting curriculum, I might say. So PragerU is a media company founded by conservative radio host Dennis Prager, and it's aimed to reach Gen Z audiences with videos that is present in words at that videos that present in its words, a free alternate to the dominant left-wing ideology and culture, media and education. The company, which describes itself as an educational media platform dedicated to promote pro-American values, creates free online videos for children that covers a range of history, civics, and science topics. The company reports that more than 700,000 parents, grandparents, and educators have subscribed to PragerU's kids' contents. Playmaker, if you still with us, I'm coming to you with this one, sir. How, when looking at how Prager did, do you feel that their marketing program is intended to get children hooked on their personal agenda? Gary Withers?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Ask the question again.
Prager, okay, you run with the Q. When looking at how Prager do, looking at Prager, do you feel that their marketing program is intended to get children hooked on their personal agenda?
Everything you consumed has some form of agenda. Now, it's up to you, the consumer, to figure out what agenda they're trying to push. There's some agendas that are bad, some agendas that are good, some agendas that aren't pushed enough, some that are pushed too much.
Okay.
I wanted to add on to that. One
Yeah,
of the things, like when we look at the essence of education was birthed by Nelson D. Rockefeller, with the thought process to create an ideal society in which he could create a more educated workforce. But the thought process in terms of the way that they set up the educational system was geared away from natural learning in the truest sense. Like there's not a lot of Montessorial type of learning, not a lot of exploring, not a lot of differentiation. It's just a stricter curriculum. And it was something that I recently viewed online that was so dope, and it was pretty interesting. Norway was a country in which it was really poor, was down the ladder in relationship to international relations, monetary wealth, things of that nature. They hit a boom in oil. The country exploded. But guess what they did? They essentially sent all their kids to the same schools. So there's no elitism in relationship to that. Even though your family may have a significant amount of money, each kid has the same opportunity to achieve at a certain level. And they're getting the same education. And so what effectively we're saying, in all true honesty, right now with the educational system, when we start looking at the PragerU, when we even look at critical race theories, in some aspects it's separate but equal, but it's printing a dividing line in our society aspects. So it's pretty interesting what we're dealing with. I went a whole bunch of different ways, but the thought process that I'm saying is we need to really identify with the fact that we are being manipulated from the beginning, from the
Yeah.
Facts. I'm gonna get a little. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna get a little more background on PragerU. So again, I thought the whole program was very eye opening. Actually, PragerU has been known for its 5-minute videos, a series of short political and social issues geared towards teenagers and college age students. The clips, which include titles such as "Social Justice Isn't Justice," "Are Some Cultures Better Than Others?" "Making Men Masculine Again," and "Economic Inequality is Good," often feature prominent conservative pundits and media personalities. PragerU covers many of the same themes of American history, civics, financial literacy, social issues, and religion. The organization expanded its children programming in 2023, added 7 new online shows for K through 12 for a total of 14 programs. One of the videos in particular had drawn strong backlash in it. To 2 children go back in time when they met Frederick Douglass. In this video, it describes slavery as necessary evil. The founding of our country. So, I'm not certain. I'm certainly not okay with slavery, but the founding fathers made a compromise to achieve something great. The making of the United States, and the Douglas character says. He go on to say that some things are complicated than it may seem. I'm going to it. First of all, I'm gonna be honest. What are your thoughts on that? I see you got something on your mind. Well, first of all, what are your thoughts on that? What are your
First,
thoughts?
I want to say it is an indoctrination. So now, where it started off as just being for high school kids, now we're promoting this to kindergarten kids. So it's a conditioning that we're trying to do. We're trying to change a narrative of something, literally tell lies about something, and make it true. It's like what Trump does every day, but it's this is ridiculous. And this is why when we talk about Black History Month, when we say that Black history is 365, this is why that we have to teach our kids that the separation, like we literally have to make sure that our kids know. We have babies, some of us have teenagers, preteens. They need to know their history and their ancestral background, because this is what the world is coming to. It's trying to wipe us away. It's trying to wipe our whole history away in this country. And that's not okay.
Quinn, go with you with this. As a future educator, how important it is for you to make sure that your students stay abreast with black history, not just black, and teaching not just Black history, but Black history as American history. Do you think there's a difference, or you think they need to be separated? There's a Black history, then there's American history. Or you think there's a combination of both? What's your thoughts?
There is a combination of both, especially considering kids are born in America, so they want you to know their American history. A lot of Black history is in America, especially by the time I get to teaching. But with that being said, I don't plan on teaching kids older than the age of 10. So even if I teach them all the history that I do know, they ain't gonna listen unless I put it into a short form TikTok.
That's not true. That's not true.
I mean, short term
their attention spans might not be the longest, so he might not be totally wrong in that.
It depends on your skills of teaching and how you relate to the kids too. My goodness, my kids come out of a school that is all Black, brown, and red. So Black, Hispanic, and Indian. And these kids, when Zora's class graduated from 5th grade, 80% of these kids, now this is a Title I school, which it should not be, but they made it one because of the makeup of the school, because that's what they do. 80% of her 5th grade graduating class did math on a 10th grade level, reads on an 11th grade level. So that is why she is in the school that she's in now in an IB program, and she's basically doing 7th grade work in the 6th grade. Kids who are taught with love and encouraged in elementary school grow up to be great humans, and they learn easier. Our kids are very highly intelligent. They just need a chance to, and somebody recognize that. We have been put back so many times with thinking that just because of the color of our skin that we're not smart, which is just totally a lie.
Question.
Yep.
Was it your daughter specifically were at the reading and
No,
math?
the class.
Okay.
The 5th grade class. On their EOGs, this 5th grade class. And they've been that way since they were pre-K. They've all been advanced since they were pre-K. This is a school where they changing classes. Now, the 5th grade EOGs, most of them got 4 and 5s. Not just a few, the whole class.
Okay.
I don't have that because I know there's some classes or some schools where, the 5th graders may be on a 10th, 11th grade math reading level, and there's some who are on the 1st grade math reading level.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to always have a few, but when you have 80% of kids, that's saying something about that school.
That's right.
And when I say that, I say that too, because when Zoe's class was the same way, and when I thought, she needed a break from audition season. When she went to middle school, we threw her in in a middle school in our neighborhood, which I threw my child into chaos. She didn't know how to function in this world of chaos. It wasn't a school of love. It was a school of straight chaos. I mean, there was no control in this school. And that sent her into a whole anxiety set level. When she got into the School of the Arts, she was with her people. Everything came down. Her grades got better. It's where you put your kid. It's who teaches your kid. So if you're a teacher giving that love, and as a male teacher, which a lot of little boys and a lot of little girls don't see a Black male teacher until they get to middle school. In elementary school, that's an amazing thing.
That's right.
I mean, they do, but they're either the principal or the guidance counselor, which.
But actually having someone in the classroom to teach them, that's an amazing thing. This is why we have to keep up. And I love the fact that Clinton's in education. I think that's an amazing thing to do.
Well, I'm gonna go through this one. Do you think are there any impasse of knowing Black history associated with mental health or self-esteem, or even having a victimology of children of not knowing Black your history? Either or, what kind of mental impact does that have on a child knowing the history and knowing who they are, compared to a child who don't know anything about the history, don't know who they are? What's your thoughts?
And I'm gonna speak to my experience. My experience was blessed. I had some awesome teachers. Some very strict but sound thinking, educated sisters, brothers, mostly sisters, they kind of put it down for me. And growing up in DC when it was Chocolate City, and having the majority of my teachers in my formative years be African American, and also spend an emphasis on Black history. We had a Black history play every year. We were wrapped in ideals of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. We were wrapped in ideals of Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman. All these are things that we constantly talked about. Matthew Henson, Charles Drew, who's a Washington, D.C. native. All these things are things that we were integrated into and made aware of, which made me have a sense of pride and understanding of who I was, and a level of clarity in the midst that didn't have any inferiority transitioning into predominantly white classrooms, going into college and having debates with different people or different types of situations. That foundation that I got carried into my professional career. And I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna put this out here. I had a teacher by the name of Miss Banks, and I was a bad little kid. I was a bad ass kid. I ain't even gonna lie. I was so bad that I couldn't go on a daggone school trip, right? And my mother had paid her money, and when they told me that my mother had to go, I didn't want to go. I was like, man, I want to go by myself. But my mother was like, nah, if you going Ron Johnson, your mama gotta go because we just can't handle you. And so that next year, I got in Miss D. Banks' class. And Miss Banks didn't play with me, man. You hear me? Black history play, I was Muhammad Ali. Who was I? Yeah, I was Muhammad Ali. No, I wasn't Muhammad Ali. I had to remember, I don't know. I had to remember a page and a half of information. I never forget that. And I was supposed to go with my aunt somewhere and hang out. And that Sunday, I spent all day learning that. You hear me? And I told her, man, Miss Banks, I don't want to be in no play. She's like, Ron Johnson, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it well.
That's right.
That's what happened. I did it, and I did it well. I didn't forget not one goddamn word, and she pushed me towards excellence. And I think some aspects of that, when people are culturally invested in you, it creates an environment of success. And those ladies were invested in me. So
Facts.
I thank God for that.
Good stuff. Tori, I'm coming with you with this question. I'm going with G, but I know you can handle it. When you're looking back at PragerU, what do you think is the intent or benefit is gained by whitewashing Black history?
It benefits white men, rich white men. who don't want to be accountable for their actions. It amazes me that everybody have gotten reparations for acts that have been done except for us.
I want to get some feedback on that too before y'all go. Don't move off of that question because I got something on you.
Okay, go ahead.
But yes, it benefits them. It benefits if you I mean, it's something they've done since they brought us here. It's not as bad as it seems. It wasn't as bad as it was. It's to benefit them.
Go ahead, Ron.
Dig it. I was thinking about this all day today, and it struck me. I watched the movie, and I cannot remember where it came from, where they talked about the very thing that the antagonist wanted was to steal the memory of the people. And the very thing of the protagonist was to maintain the ability to remember. And they were identifying with death, but it's also a part of the theme that's in the Matrix. Who was the machines looking for often? They were looking for Zion, and they were looking for who? The Oracle.
Right.
So if they're attacking the information that sets people free, then they're essentially identifying that they don't want the truth to be presented or be present in that time because it affects the dynamic of how the machines work or how the machine that we live in works.
Right. Okay.
So people are really processing that. What they want and what the enemy always wants is our memories. They want our connection, our root. And I heard this brother say something. He said, man, in order to truly conquer a people, you have to destroy the warrior class, and then you have to effectively undercut the knowledge of self and the understanding of who you are, and what you're tethered to. And I'm going to put another nugget out there, and some people will catch it and some people can't. Some people will call me clandestine for saying it. There's a reason why we haven't got reparations. Because we don't have treaties. And a lot of these people that you see have treaties with the United States that asserts that they have to honor those treaties. So we're not sanctioned as a body.
That part.
Interesting. Playmaker, let me get you in here, sir. I know you've been in and out. So you know we're talking about PragerU and what the benefit of PragerU. What are your thoughts on that curriculum, and how do you think they'll affect? The education system, or how we teach our children?
You know, I had a chance to kind of look at some of those videos, and the videos, in all honesty, is not bad. It's just one-sided. And I think when you only tell half the story or only give half the picture, you do a disjustice to education. And I think that without showing the complete story or giving all the details, that I'm just not a fan of the materials that they are producing. I think that they are breeding what's the word I'm looking for? They're breeding a
culture of misinformation. Fox News Network.
That part.
Fox News Network.
Yeah, and it's sad because I listened to the one that they talked about immigration, and it had a lot of good points from one side and one perspective. And I think that if they would have just truly married it up to the other side and the other perspective, it would have been a great video to just kind of give people information. But just giving them the one side of the coin is just a disjustice to education.
But do you think it's by design? Do you think they're doing that by design? Is that a system behind that?
Definitely. I mean, they're breeding future voters. I mean, that's what when I listened to it, I said, okay, this is very political, even though they call it educational. It is very political as how they describe all of the reasons why you should support and view things a certain way. And when it comes to those teenagers, those young people becoming adults, and this has been preached to them all their lives, then they're going to vote one way. So I think it's all political to, they call it educational, but I think it's very political to kind of breed new voters.
Good
Hey,
stuff.
Ted Koppel said that this was coming. He said this was coming in the early 90s, late 90s, when they reproduced or got rid of the Fair Reporting Act. You had to have 1/2 hour of Democratic strategy and information, 1/2 an hour of Republican. And when they changed that policy and they allowed people to go into their silos, they have created an America that is fractured. And I heard a gentleman say, he tried to blame it on the George Floyd thing in relationship to how people perceive things and the aspect of social media. It didn't start there. It started there. Ted Koppel, he called it. It was either Ted Koppel or George Will. I think it was George Will. But both of those one of those political commentators said it. And I'm going to look it up and I'm going to introduce that clip one day.
Okay. Well, Jonathan Zierman, a professor of history of education at the University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education, is a political. He says the same thing. It's a political propaganda machine, and it promotes mistrust about climate change, slavery, and a whole host of other things. Ooh, I lost my spot. Gabby, what? That's other things. The material came under fire after the Florida Department of Education approved them in July for use of their of July for use in the classroom as a supplemental resource. New Hampshire planned to vote on approving PragerU financial literacy content. The board tabled the vote after vocal pushback from other educators. In Texas, the state board member Julia Pickering appeared in a video alongside PragerU CEO Marissa Street, announcing that the material had been approved for the use of in the state board, but board chair Kevin Ellis told the Dallas Morning Star that the organization has not submitted materials for review and the board has not taken in the votes. There are some documents of instances of schools using PragerU in PragerU also. In 2021, the American Prospect report that high school students in California and Idaho had seen videos in their classrooms played by their teacher. In 2020, and Ohio school assigned Prager videos for extra credit. Controversially, at least one of the local outlets have reported that Florida district will not allow the resource to be used. Q, I'm gonna run the question with you this way. How important do you feel? How do you believe that the parents to be involved in the school system and knowing what their child is learning?
Very. I don't think. Remember the question I asked Toya when I asked her, was just her daughters that got the certain levels, because I know usually if a child has reached that level, because the parents are helping them at home, because parents, if you're listening to this, and we still based off Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially Atlanta, because I know Atlanta crazy. Read to your children. Read to them. Help them with their math homework. What do you think is going to happen when we send them home at 2, 3, 4, and they don't do any work again until 8 the next day? It's not going to stick. Help them with their homework. Read a book to them. Do something. It's not all on our t-shirts. And if you think it is, I bet you won't step into a classroom. You will understand.
Okay, that's a little personal there, sir, but okay, go ahead, Toya.
I agree with him
I do
completely.
agree.
And I'm going to say this, that when this, like I said, this school opened up in an area that was at one time predominantly white, and now it is predominantly Black, brown, and red. And they made it a Title I school. When the school opened up, and we were there when the school opened up, we were there from pre-K. Zoe was the first class to go from pre-K to 5th grade completely. The parent participation is amazing. And that is why the numbers are what they are, because parents who participate, like Quentin said, help out teachers and make teachers want to work more. When we had to do Zoe's IEP for math, her teacher advocated for her so hard, whereas and they didn't want to give it to her, but she advocated. Her and I fought to get this child getting it together in math and getting an IEP, a 504, whatever, that we can help her out when it came to math. And so when you're actively involved in the school, and y'all know I volunteer for every dang thing. Now I'm volunteering at 2 different schools. It works. It shows your kids that you care. It shows the teachers that you care. And so the teachers are going to work harder for your kids.
Facts. Toya, I'm gonna jump into the question, kind of reverting back to what PragerU was doing. Why do you think that these states that promotes PragerU are actually pushing this type of learning in their school district? What's your thoughts? Why do you
Because
think
of what Gary said, they recruiting conservative voters. They're indoctrinating children to become conservative voters.
That is crazy. Playmaker, do you believe that there are long-term effects of teaching Black or Indigenous children at watered down version of history?
Say the last part again.
Do you believe that there are long-term effects of teaching Black or Indigenous children a watered down version of history?
Yes. I mean, I think that one of the things that I think helps young people is having role models that look like them. So being able to read about inventors or scientists or doctors that have done things that look like you and come from a similar background, I believe motivates you to try to do the same type of things and to try to reach the same type of goals. If you're always hearing about all of these people have done all these great things that look nothing like you, that come from a completely different background, I think it makes it seem like it is unattainable for you. So that's why I'm a big component of teaching young Black people about all of our heroes in medicine and science and all of that, because I think once you see other people who look like you accomplish those things, it gives you some self what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, my words are eluding me today, but it gives you some pride about yourself to try to want to do better and succeed.
Rod, do you think that by doing that, it will reduce some of the violence and the anger that we have in our young Black youth? By teaching them our history, do you think there's a link to that?
I think anytime people fully understand their history, they're tethered by something. I think one of the things that's really happening to our kids right now is that they're not necessarily tethered to anything. The larger issue more than anything else in our community is that we had institutions, and those institutions provided a foundation and were a outside entity that really helped facilitate our betterment. What these kids are not seeing is that the community was all encompassing. You got formal education from your school setting, from your teachers and the people that supported you. You got informal education from the people that were in your neighborhood, in your community. You got spiritual education, whether it be at the church, mosque, synagogue. So if you think about the various domains of your life, and then the social domain, when you it's 5 domains, the cognitive domain too as well. When you satisfy all those domains and those domains are in alignment and they're supported, then you have a basically balanced person. Right now, we don't have balanced people. And the fact that it's not a lot of balanced people in society is the fact that everybody is so scattered and displaced. Families are not necessarily connected like they once were. And so when you have families all over the place, or people all over the place, and there's not like a grandma or mama around to really support them, that's what you're dealing with. And that's who really facilitated that success in those communities. I seen Busta Rhymes say this. I seen Ghostface Killer say this. Ghostface said these kids don't have no sense of God. And when he said that, it blew my mind because it was really dope. Busta said, man, when we came up, whatever we did things, but we did it with a level of respect. So if we was outside smoking a cigarette or doing something that may have been a little bit illicit or drinking or something like that, when our people mama came around, we put it away.
Yeah, put that away.
We had a level of respect for them. And you know what has happened to us? A lot of those institutions that really facilitated that knowledge, that created that foundation for us, and that really honestly helped us not necessarily hate, but be focused on our journey. Because see, what social media has done is taken the onus off of people being independently moved to do things for themselves. Excuse me, I was about to say, I was about to cuss. Critical race theory in its true sense, forget PragerU. If you're exercising your right to pursue your goals and dreams in a proper fashion, you're going to yield fruit. That's a universal principle. You can't not yield fruit because that's the way that the universe is set up. So if you're putting stuff and energy into the universe and you're doing what you're supposed to do, then you're going to yield the fruit. And it ain't even about somebody inherently being, that we do have a due. We do deserve things in relationship to reparations. But in all true honesty, until they provide us with those things, if they ever do, you know what we still got to do? We still got to grind.
Mm-hmm.
So I say we need to take a level of self-determination, set forth our expectations, and put them into our children. And then also, if you're not necessarily more to a church, a gospel, a synagogue, or whatever, connect your kids to groups of people or mentors that operate in principles, that are principled people. And if they're around principled people, like what Toya is talking about with her daughter's school, they're going to yield fruit. You're going to see that fruit. We got to really look at, like, damn the problems. Let's talk about some solutions.
That part.
Speaking of solution, what I mean, and you hit on a couple of solution based issues, and that was the roundtable for the evening. What are some other solution based ideas that we can do? I'm going with you with this one first, Tori, and I'll go with Quinn, that we can do for our children to keep them abreast on their history and keep us moving in the right direction. What are your thoughts?
I agree with everything Ron said, actually. I watched a video, and I think I sent it to you, Hank, about why we are 2 generations behind in church, where we're missing 2 generations. We have lost 2 generations in church because millennials, and then you have 2 generations, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Why Gen Zs and Gen Alphas are not in church? Because the church is not recognizing what their everyday spiritual growth should be. But that part in itself, and then just the fact that, like, we've lost 2 generations of kids who are growing up seeing things right in front of them at all the time. So it's just getting back to that sense of family, that sense of community is where we need to that's where we need to start, because we've lost that. And not just church. When we talk about the mosque, everything, in every aspect, in every way of life. We have lost 2 generations.
Q, I know you said earlier by teaching your children at home. What are the other ways that you feel quickly that you feel we can be more solution based on getting our children up to speed and on the right path of learning and achieving higher levels?
Read to your children.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Playmaker, right? And to finish it up for us, then we do our round table. So what's your final thoughts of Prairie U and teaching critical race theory in our school system?
Well, I'll add my first piece. So agree with everything all the panelists have said. And I'll add one of the things that our children can't do that we have to do, and that is to vote. One of the things that you were talking about earlier is some of these bills for getting PragerU into the schools is on the table. Some of these things are being reviewed by different boards of education in different states, and we are the people who are putting those people in play. So if we're not paying attention to who we are putting in place, if we're not paying attention to what kind of bills are being passed, then our children just have a huge upward battle to fight when they can't even get clear education on both sides of the issue. So I think we have to do our part to kind of help make sure that the schools have the correct guidelines to teach our children.
Good stuff, guys. Hey, like always, guys, we try to bring out different issues to give you something to take home and think about and think to kind of chew up and see can we make every day a better day. Especially doing not just Black History Month, but every day of the week. Rodney, your last words and your last thoughts of the night, sir.
The solution essentially is, identifying effective infrastructure to put inside our communities. A lot of the problems that we talk about in relationship to white culture and Black culture is based upon infrastructure. If infrastructure was present, then the community at large would be better all around. And what I mean by infrastructure, I ain't just talking about programs. I'm talking about identifiable things in which people can go access information and be secured and made aware of things. And side note, Amazon Prime is coming out with a healthcare plan. The healthcare plan is supposed to be like, I think $9 to $19. Hey man, some aspects of things in relationship to business are coming clear. People are getting ready to change the game. If you bring that out, it's going to be different.
Good stuff. Q, last final thoughts, Q.
I've been stressing retail children so much, and I will now reference somebody who read to me as a child when I was growing up. And on the date of this recording, February 13th, has also been, checks the year, 13 years since I lost a grandma who did used to read to me growing up. So,
Miss B.
So yeah, retail children.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Toya, your final thoughts for the night.
My final thoughts are the business that we are promoting this week for Black businesses. It is called Archive. Owner Sharice Terry aims to archive Black culture at this coffee and retail shop in West Charlotte. It has locally roasted coffee and espressos, plus nostalgic books, magazines, and relics. Archive, a coffee shop celebrating Black culture, now open on the west side on Betty's Ford Road. Please support this sister. It is a great place to be.
We got to get back to drinking coffee and reading books. I don't think we do it anymore. Yeah, Playmaker, your final thoughts, sir.
It is interesting you said we need to get back to that. The whole basis of the PragerU is critical thinking. And with all the stuff that they have coming out with AI and automation, and even with PragerU, when they're telling you how to think, we're getting away from critical thinking. And I think that is a key component in which we have to realize and get back to learning how to think for ourselves and truly be able to make decisions and know when we're not getting all of the information and learn how to seek and get all the information to make a good decision.
Mm-hmm.
Good points. Hey guys, my final thoughts for the night, man. check on our elders. If you got an elder grandmother, elder aunt, you know, an elder lady down the street, is cold out, it's February. Just peep your head in and check on, see if they need anything, guys. They don't cost them nothing to kind of check on our elders, and sometimes sit down and listen to them. They still our mature folks still can give off a good wise counsel to get stirred in the right direction. Hey guys, thank you again for joining us. We continue to try to do the best and bring the best content to you guys. Like always, may your next move be the game changer. Peace.